Oldie but goodie, Alex Hormozi clip goes viral again. And this is a clip, Alex Hormozi talking about why he stopped being a Christian. The ironic part about this is I reacted to this like years ago. And so I think Graham Stephan re-uploading this, or whoever on his team re-uploaded this, is diabolical for this, because this is so funny that they re-uploaded this, and his reasoning is so silly in this. But I figured we'd engage with it. I've engaged with Alex privately a bit, like before he really exploded. And I think there's a lot of things about Alex's teachings that are helpful, and then there's a lot of things that are just completely incongruent, as you can see in my video yesterday. I'm deleting this in 72 hours about some of the hustle culture stuff, not allowing people to be in your life unless they're serving you. A lot of really kind of goofy stuff that I just think on a human level falls apart upon stress testing. So he put this video up about him being a Christian. Let's react to it, engage with it. I got a heart for Alex, man, but I think this is one of those things where the temptations of becoming so powerful and so rich could just be a lot for some people. And the interesting thing, I do think that some of Alex's business teaching actually overflow from his time as a Christian. But let's engage with it. A shout out to my guy, Jeffrey Wilson, who got through the first chapter of Godly Ambition last night. You the real MVP. Thank you for being here. What'd you think, man? Let me know.
One of the strongest arguments for Christianity against other world religions is that other world religions say, like, if you go to the good place, so if you do a good job, you go to the good place, right? And fundamentally, it's a hard paradigm, because it means, like, at what point are you 51% good versus 49%? Right. Should I have just held one more door open and I would have gone to the good place forever, right?
Yes.
Not even talking about like finite circumstance and creating infinite outcomes, but like whatever. And so if you can draw that line, then it kind of makes it ridiculous, right? It like kind of breaks down on the like be a good person system, right? And so that's all worldviews with the exception of Buddhism and Christianity. With Christianity, they're like, you don't have to be good, you just have to have faith. And if you have faith in Jesus, then you go to the good place, right?
So he's correct in that it is not good works that get you into heaven. It is your faith in the work of Jesus on the cross that then gives you a new heart, new desires. And it's the faith that you have to accept Jesus' sacrifice, the faith of the gift that he gave you, that puts us in a position to be reconciled or to be redeemed. You don't buy your way out of the debt that you owe because of your sin. Jesus did that. So he's correct here. I would just add one little thing. The world and other religions say it's about works. In psychology, it's about self-help and behavior modification. So that's everywhere. I would say the difference with Christianity is that we also believe that because of the work on the cross, we then get new hearts and new desires. And then from those new hearts and new desires, we do produce good works. Ephesians 2, 8, 9, and 10, you're saved by grace through faith. It's not of your own doing. No man should boast. And then verse 10 says, for you are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which he prepared in advance for you to do. So there are good works in Christianity. It's just the motivation for those good works and the overflow of a transformed heart and a new desires and a new life that then produces good fruit. So good works still matter. God has good works for all of us to do. It's just those good works aren't what gets us saved, right? Now, listen to his next point here.
And so the reason that for me, fundamentally, I didn't believe in that was because you actually create another false binary, which is believe or not believe. When in reality,
so belief or not belief is a false binary for Alex.
Reality is to what extent you believe. It's how hard you believe. And again, you create another 50% line, which is should I believe 1% more? And then I would go into the good place forever, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, the point is that I studied apologetics for a long period of time. And then I was... So
he says, hey, other religions say it's, are you a good person or you're not a good person? Christianity says it's belief that gets you to heaven. I think that is a bit short-sighted in the sense that it is belief that gets you to heaven, and then you also transform and impact good and usher in beauty and goodness and God's glory on this side of eternity. But then he says belief is a binary. Now, here's my issue with that, is I don't think belief is a binary. It's not 50% versus 49% or 51% versus 49%. I think belief is a confidence spectrum. Belief is a confidence spectrum with regards to how much do you trust something, right? I have a high degree of confidence that the chair I'm sitting on is going to support me. Why? Because I've sat on this chair multiple times before. It's tested, it's tried, it's true. I sit down, the chair supports me. So I have a confidence spectrum that, let's just say 99%, this chair is going to support my weight. A binary means black and white. You believe or you don't believe. That's what a binary means. Black and white. Believe or you don't believe. Confidence spectrum is how much do you believe that something is going to hold up under a stress test. I believe this chair is going to hold me up because I've walked through the process of sitting in this chair, and I know in hindsight that the chair is going to support me because it's tried, it's tested, and true. Now, there is a chance that it could break and it could fall apart. However, with my faith in Jesus, I've walked through the process of placing my faith in Jesus, living out God's ways, putting my hope in him, repeatedly seeing him show up in my life, repeatedly seeing him. And so in the hindsight of walking with Jesus, I develop more confidence that Jesus is who he says he is, that his ways are good for me, that he can speak to me through various means like his scriptures, that the pathway for my life, that if I stay faithful to him, overall is better. And in that, I am more confident as I walk through the process. It's no different than the proposition that if you lift weights and you eat more chicken and you avoid the processed foods, generally speaking, your body will change. You guys, some people say that's a preposterous idea. Why would I do heavy and hard things? But then what you do is you walk through that process, and then on the other side of that, you go, of course that's true because I've done it before. Of course that's true because I've done it before. And so I think Alex is creating a false binary around something that we don't really look at it like that in any way, shape, or form. I have belief and confidence that my wife is faithful, that she's a good wife, that she loves me. All of those things you can't prove with under a microscope. The only way I could prove that is if I had a camera attached to my wife and always followed her around. But I have good reason to believe that my wife is faithful, that she loves me, so on and so forth. How? Because I walked through the process of being married to her for 17 years, being with her for 21 years. We have 2 kids and we have a third on the way. That is how we should be looking at belief. Not is it a binary, do I trust my wife, do I not trust my wife? Right? So it's a confidence spectrum. Faith is a confidence spectrum. And I have good reason to have confidence in the work of Jesus because I've walked through the process of placing my faith, of applying his word, and he's never failed me.
Really sad. And I was just like, being sad. I was like, fuck happiness. I was like, I'm just going to do stuff that I think is cool. And that was like the first break in the chain for me. My slogan to myself was actually,
I think it's interesting that he connected faith to happiness. I'm not sure how he got sad because he didn't want to be happy. I don't know that. But I think what happens is with some people, the all or nothing thinking, the black and white, the binaries are helpful in some ways. It's either Jesus, I'm all the way out sold out for Jesus, dude, or like I'm going to be an atheist nihilist. That black and white thinking is seldom helpful. Because even in the scriptures, you see in Ecclesiastes and Solomon walking through his own nihilism and his own idea of meaninglessness and then landing at who Jesus is, right? So Alex, I think the way he's wired, maybe some of his thinking, maybe some of his cognitive distortion, the frame that he has, it is a all or nothing approach to most things. And again, he said some wild stuff like unless people serve him and have utility for him, he doesn't really keep people in his life. He'll cut people off really quick. I don't think that's a functional way to go through life.
just about happiness. And that was wildly freeing because I stopped judging myself for not being happy. And then
And the thing is, like happiness, like we get joy in the Lord. Happiness is fleeting based on your moments. So I'm not even sure how he connected this to happiness, in my opinion.
it's just like, oh, I'm unhappy. I'm like, cool, whatever. And I just kept going, and all of a sudden, it just like stopped mattering to me. Like I don't think about it. I genuinely, I don't think like, does this make me happy? Does it, like I don't think about it.
You just do what you want to do in the moment.
Just do whatever I feel like doing. And it's not like it's like all short term, like all pleasure seeking, whatever. Like I still have a long term perspective of like, this is what I want to build.
Yeah.
Like I want to write these books. I want to build these courses. I want to do this stuff. But it's like those are things that I enjoy. So that's what I do.
I love it. That's great. All right.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know, man. I again, God bless Alex Hormozi, man. I pray he finds his way back to Jesus. However, I think this is a shallow, incoherent reason to not believe. Faith is a binary, therefore you don't believe. Yeah, I'm pretty, and I've shared this with him privately over DMs and all that sort of stuff. So I don't quite understand. But I do think that the all or nothing thinking is unhelpful. And it's actually a cognitive distortion. If you look up all or nothing thinking, what's the root of it? It's a cognitive distortion usually based on trauma that you haven't worked through. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, then hit the like button. If you liked it a lot and have a thought to share, leave a comment. If you are listening to this on the podcast app, make sure to leave a review, and you could even leave a comment over there. And if you want to watch another video that is recommended just for you, hit this video over here. Let me know if they nailed it. Also, you can partner with us monthly, which helps us out a lot in our monthly community, get access to early drops and all that kind of good stuff over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.